I would like to strengthen the complete implementation of the ceasefire agreement and the Gaza Strip that has been reached after Egyptian efforts in cooperation with our partners in Qatar, the United States of America, and the necessity of allowing complete humanitarian aid access to Palestinians in Gaza to end the human suffering catastrophe and starting a political settlement that is sustainable for the Palestinian cause through the establishment of a Palestinian state on the borders of the 4th of July 1967 with East Jerusalem as capital. Allow me here to point out the fundamentals of the Egyptian stance towards the Palestinian cause. Here, I can never be unbiased, or allow any kind of compromise of these fundamentals. And when I point out these fundamentals, I mean the essential basis on which the Egyptian stance is based, which include establishing a Palestinian state, maintaining the belongings of these states and the peoples and the region. All these statements are regarding the displacement of Palestinians. I would like to assure the Egyptian people that it will never be a compromise or tampering with the Egyptian national security. I would like to assure you we are fully determined to work with President Trump, who wants to prevail peace in the region based on the two-state solution. We see that President Trump is capable of implementing this purpose, this long-awaited purpose to prevail sustainable peace in the Middle East. Allow me here to get a little out of context and address you and say that for 15 months we have stressed that what we see since the 7th of October till now are the implications of long years. We haven't reached a political settlement to the Palestinian cause. The roots of the problem are still standing. And each couple of years, the situation explodes, and we see a scene of horror and terrorism as we have seen in the Gaza Strip. The solution to this cause, the real solution, is the two-state solution, establishing a Palestinian state with historic rights that are inalienable, that cannot be overlooked. This is not only my opinion or my point of view. When we talk about this, we need to take into consideration the public opinion, not the Arab opinion, the world public opinion, who sees the historic injustice that imposed on the Palestinian people during the last 70 years, and sees that the solution to this crisis is not evacuating the Palestinian population and getting them out of their land. It is only the two-state solution, along with peace and security to the Israeli citizen as well as the Palestinian citizen. What we have seen 2 days ago through the return of Palestinians after destruction that took place for 14 months. Thousands and thousands of people, why did they return to destructed homes? Why and for what? They went back to the rubbles of their homes. The destruction of 14 months. Here in Egypt, we have warned at the beginning of this crisis of what that scene is an attempt to make life impossible in the Gaza Strip, to make Gaza inhabitable, to evacuate and displace Palestinians. We warned then during October and the following month during all of our meetings that this crisis that we live through is not just the result of one-day violence. It is the loss of hope to find a solution to the Palestinian state and the Palestinian people. What can I say to the Egyptian public opinion? I will not address the Arab world or the world at all. What can I say to the Egyptians when they ask about the Palestinian displacement to Egypt? I imagine, and of course this is only hypothetical, if I say so, it means instability for the Egyptian national security and the Arab national security, and instability in the entire region. Everyone who's listening to us now need to hear this. We are a nation. We have a nation with a still unwavering stance. Either I am here or someone else, the stance remains unwavering. The displacement of Palestinians is not going to happen. The Palestinian population will return no matter what, and they will implement reconstruction. What happened years ago will never be again. If I say yes to this displacement, the entire Egyptian people will be out on the streets, requiring me to not take part in this injustice. The displacement of the Palestinian people is grave injustice that we will not be part of. Ladies and gentlemen, I talked to President Ruto about the situation in Sudan. We exchanged visions about the current conflict, and we stressed the necessity of the joint action between Egypt and Kenya to reach serious solutions to the crisis, putting an end to the humanitarian crisis the Sudanese people are going through, opening the way to a political dialogue meeting the aspiration of the Sudanese people for security and stability. I have discussed with my brother, Mr. President, about the recent developments on the River Nile. I stressed the accurate position of Egypt, which is suffering from water scarcity. We have development needs for the Nile Basin states, for positive coordination between us, for the non-harm of any of the parties. We agreed on that the River Nile has a lot of blessings to all of us, a lot of development opportunity to all states, as long as we agree on cooperation with the good intentions, well intentions according to international law. My brother William Ruto, Mr. President, I was very pleased to meet you today, and I'm looking forward for more collaboration between our countries, meeting the aspirations of our peoples and wishing the Kenyan people all good and stability under your wise leadership. I would like to welcome you once more in your second homeland, Egypt. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, President
فخامة الرئيس السيد عبد الفتاح السيسي، إنه لشرف عظيم لي أن أكون هنا معكم اليوم في هذا البلد العظيم. فهذه لحظة تاريخية.
It is a historic moment indicating 60 years of good diplomatic relations between our two countries. I would like to extend my very heartfelt gratitude for you, Mr. President, for the warm reception. The people of Kenya sends the best wishes for our brothers and sisters for the new year and for the years ahead. For long years, we have had ties with Egypt, and Egypt has always been a strategic partner for Egypt that we could depend on, which helped establish the second diplomatic mission for Kenya in 1964, and today I am pleased to announce that both countries are committed to the good strategic partnership between the two countries, which will bring our people great opportunities to our people and the economies of both countries. Mr. President Sisi and I agreed that this foundation is essential. During this visit, we agreed on expanding our areas of cooperation after the negotiations in the Nairobi summit last year for cooperation between Egypt and Kenya. We have discussed several areas of cooperation such as funding, healthcare, among others. Today, we have added 12 memoranda of understanding to expand collaboration in the field of diplomatic training, gender equality, and maritime cooperation, youth empowerment, higher education, in addition to technology and science, as well as sustainable development, technology and communications, construction, and urban development, which will strengthen and improve investments and trade and technological exchange. We look forward to very promising opportunities for our nations. In addition, we are about to finalize our agreements in customs cooperation regarding green economy and the water agreement, in addition to other fields. We have signed into memoranda of understanding that will be implemented as soon as possible, which clarifies the joint visions regarding sustainable development and serving the most common interests of our nations. Mr. President, to strengthen these relations, I have suggested establishing a joint action committee in the relevant fields that are of concern to both countries. The trilateral TFTA was signed into in the Comesta, which gave us the opportunity to develop and expand cooperation between the two countries in the fields of cooperation and sustainable development. This helps millions of people in the trilateral TFTA regions. We have also discussed several missions to enable the facilitations of the tariff procedures for our business communities to grow and to help push forward many goods produced by our nations. Regarding delayed payments and the supply chain strains, Mr. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, our discussions regarding peace and security and the relationships for cooperation with sustainable development have paid off. During the past few years, we have seen Egyptian military facilities in Kenya. Kenyan officers are receiving the proper training by Egyptian military facilities, particularly in regions to prevail peace and stability.
نحن نشيد بجهود
We commend your efforts, Mr. President, and your wise leadership to manage the situation in Gaza
في غزة وكل المناطق الأخرى
and all the surrounding areas which are suffering from conflicts. You have a commitment, a clear commitment,
وحضرتك تحظى
and a responsibility, and you have our complete support. I say that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to commend the efforts exerted by Mr. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi to strengthen peace and security in the region, in addition to working towards fostering a ceasefire agreement and a complete humanitarian aid access into Gaza. Kenya fully supports the two-state solutions to solve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and we are committed to the UN Security Council resolution in this regard, which calls for a ceasefire, an unconditional ceasefire. We have discussed the Egyptian efforts in Somalia to prevail peace and security, as well as its role in South Sudan and Sudan, as Egypt and Kenya will continue working together to ensure security and stability of the region. We are working also in the African Union and these similar organizations to achieve our aspirations and goals. Guinea is looking forward to work with Egypt in all different fields, and I informed my brother, Mr. President, of Kenya nomination to head one of the committees within the organization, and we will continue to work together to provide the support as we have discussed the reforms that should take place in the African Union. وبنيابتي عن الجانب المؤسسي, I have informed Mr. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi of the comprehensive accomplishments that we have achieved, and I will provide a report of these points. We are all aware that our continent is now a scene for terrorism and conflict. We need to have coherent and well-thought plan on how to deal with challenges and conflict and terrorism. Our continent to suffer, and unless we take meaningful steps in the field of development and investment and progress, our development will only come from working together, from harmonized ideas on the peace and security architecture in the continent. It is the place to start, is from the African Union to reach concrete steps as a continent. How to participate on securing stability and security for the entire region, as Mr. President have indicated regarding the situation in Gaza. We have also what Kenya is doing in Haiti is an evidence of our capabilities in the continent. We are able of achieving a lot for our continent. We will be able to work together to secure the stability of Africa, to meet the aspirations of our people, achieving progress of industrialization, providing job opportunities, securing food security. In addition, we agreed on strengthening the African Union institutions, on the necessity of sub-agencies of the African Union. Egypt is always hosting very important events and paying a lot of contributions. Kenya stands fully supporting to the Egyptian company. This visit is reaffirmation to the strong friendship between Egypt and Kenya to strengthen our economic security and political ties, and I am confident that we will continue to thrive. I informed my brother that later this evening we will be holding a virtual meeting with the African community to discuss the situation in East Africa and try to refocus on the resources that we have and what we can secure to before slowly reaching a humanitarian crisis. I'd like to welcome President Sisi's support and whatever they can do to help us in this regard. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I am really proud to be here in Egypt. I was reminded by President Sisi that this is the first official visit during the 60 years of our relations. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. God bless you and see you in Nairobi soon.